Hi there, I'm Vicky Parfino from Aussie Stampers. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a Glamorous 21 card, so a 21st birthday card. And I wanted to show you how you can give it a little bit of extra charm just by using a few ideas for your envelope and different layers. So I'm using the number of years stamp set, and I'm going to be using this sentiment here and this verse for the inside. I also have the large numbers framelits, and I've already cut out a 2 and a 1 in Very Vanilla cardstock, but I've done that in a special way, so I'll show you in a moment. I have the envelope liners, which I think are brilliant, and this size fits the Very Vanilla envelopes here, so I'm going to be lining that as well. Now, I'm going to show you how I cut these letters out, because I've cut them out of my first layering piece in the center of the card. So I've cut them out here, laid them on and cut them out, as you can see. And I've embossed in gold. If I can just bring it up a little bit closer, you can see that's gold embossed. Look Who's Turning, and then I've turned it around and stamped it the other way. Look Who's Turning 21. Now I'm going to layer all of that, let's just move those away. I'm going to layer all of that onto a piece of designer paper that is this gorgeous gold. Now I've cut the envelope liner out of this just to show you. Look how shiny that is and how beautifully it goes with the gold embossing. So the piece I have cut for the card is this size. Now I'm going to do a top fold card. I really like doing top fold cards for a couple of reasons. They stand up better on the mantelpiece. They photograph more easily, so I like doing them for my photographs. And I've put another layering piece inside because it's quite thin, this Very Vanilla cardstock. And if you want this to be a card that sits up on the mantelpiece and gets a lot of airtime on the mantelpiece, you need to line it and put a second liner inside it. So I'm going to put the number of years, and again I've embossed that in gold. That's going to be layered inside. This goes on the outside. I've cut this layer down so that it has a nice looking border around it, and then we're going to layer this up like so. And there's your card. Now let's do the layering now. So the first thing I want to do is show you the technique I use with my double-sided tape. First piece I always tape beyond the edge, and you can take the next piece beyond the edge and come back and trim it with your snips if you want to, but I've found that with this block here you can get an absolutely gorgeous finish on it if you pull it back, and you get a nice cut edge, and it's quicker than having to take your snips and go in with your snips. Again, I tend to do the first piece just over the edge and then come in and trim it with a square block. And now all I need to do now is come back with a square block on the other side and trim back. And I just bring the square block slightly inside the edge of the piece so that you don't get anything at all hanging over the edges. Pretty good. So that's a quick and easy technique. Now to release the paper on the front, I generally very carefully do this because paper snips are really sharp. I just bring in the paper snips and release that top paper just by sliding it under. Okay, and that's going to go inside this I'm making for my stepdaughter who's turning 21. She's having a party here today, so I have a lot to do after I finish this card. I'm really multitasking today, getting a lot done, but that's fine. Happy to do it. I love entertaining, so we're planning a nice big party for her today. Now this is some gold embossed paper, so I think it's going to work really pretty with the gold embossing that I've stamped on here. And this one I'm going to lay flat again, same technique. I've seen quite a few crafters using this method now. It's really a time saver, so good one to know. Okay, now again just releasing that back of that tape. I use Express-It double-sided tape, and I pick this up at the craft fairs. Usually I buy 5 rolls at a time because it's the most economical way to do it. I find with adhesives you don't want to scrimp and buy cheap product because you don't want card fail, you want your card to last. So this is my favourite double-sided tape, is the Express-It tape, and you can buy that online at expressit.com.au. Alright, now next I want to put the liner inside the envelope. Now this is pretty straightforward. So for that, I prefer to use Tombow multi-adhesive, and all I'm going to do, and this I find is the easiest and quickest way, just slide it in because it's meant to fit, and then pull it to where it needs to go so that it looks nice. Make sure it's lined up side to side the right way. And all I do here is just get some adhesive and run it just below the glue line of the envelope. And you don't want to come out too far, you don't want to bring it beyond the edges, but you can see how nicely that's going to look just lined up that way. And I find that's the quickest and easiest. That's all the adhesive you need. You don't need any on the bottom. You don't need to over glue this, otherwise it can become really a difficult thing to do because you've got so much glue you can't work with it. Now what I like to do here is just fold this with my fingers. I think it gives a nicer effect than using a bone folder. So that's the next step of that. So we've now got our beautifully lined envelope, our nice card. And the greeting inside says, "The number of years the world has been a better place because you're in it." I think that's a really nice greeting. So now we've got to put the "Look Who's Turning 21" on the front. And I really want some dimension with this. I actually want it to look as though it's sitting up. So the best tool for that is some of these sticky foam squares or hexagons. And I'm going to put some near the 21 as well because I want this to have dimension. And I'm going to put quite a few of these, and where the 2 is, and this part here, this is quite dainty, I guess, so I'm just going to cut strips for those areas because I do want to have them supported using these sticky foam pieces so that you've got a support on all of those sections. And on the curve of the 2, I'm just going to put a really tiny piece in there. Now this would make a great card for 18 or 21 or any of the 0 birthdays, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60, up to 100, or maybe 110. People are living a lot longer these days, which is great. But we do want that little part supported. Okay, now I'll just layer some more of those on around the top, around the edges, until I'm happy that it's not going to go anywhere and the numbers are not going to smoosh inwards. Particularly if you're posting this, you want to protect the numbers from smooshing, technical term. Okay, now to release the tops of them, all you need to do, and this is another little handy trick, especially when you're using a lot of these, is just to press them with your nail in the center, and that will help the release paper as well. So I just go around and press them all. Then I know I don't have an argument with them when I'm trying to get tops off them. So I'm really looking forward to the party today. We're having a nice day here in Sydney, so that's great. And Paul's on the barbecue, and he's a very good barbecue chef. So he's out cleaning up the garden at the moment. It's looking pretty special, actually. It's looking a really nice day. Alrighty, now I think they're all released. I just go back and check because I have been known to leave a top on here or there, and that does kind of spoil the look. Just move those away. Feeling very chatty today. I am in a very chatty mood, you may have noticed. Okay, all right, here we go. Now make sure that this is going to open that way. You don't put it on upside down, don't want that to happen. Okay, and I'm just going to stand up because it's easier to line things up when I'm standing. Oh, perfect. Look how dimensional that is. Isn't that nice? Now, these are the little parts I was talking about. This section here needs a little bit of extra under it. And all these sections here need some more because it's going to look a little bit flimsy otherwise. But you can see that's really well adhered, but it's also giving it that fantastic dimension, which makes it really special. I love this card. I love the envelope. And they are going to work perfectly with the gift. And this is the wide bows that I'm talking about. Isn't that stunning? It's just a really nice quality brown paper, and you can see how well that matches. Isn't it gorgeous? Okay, well, thanks for stopping by today. I'm looking forward to having you join me again next time. I'm looking forward to the party today, so should be fun. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.